What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your lady's favorite YouTube channel. We've got two massive names that are rumored when it comes to the Juventus Mercado. They are having shockwaves throughout the Juventus, I guess you could just say the Richter scale. We're going to put them in a category, a 7 and 8 maybe, when it comes to what can happen with Juventus. We're going to talk about that and how those shockwaves could affect the rest of the team and the squad makeup. Moving forward, stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today it is Sunday, July 9th, 2023. Of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news you care about each and every single day. Before we do anything though, do me a solid favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And without any further ado, let's get into this thing and let's talk about a little bit of Juventus and the makeup going forward. First up, we're going to talk about a youth player that was rumored to be potentially outgoing when it comes to Juventus. Well, maybe not so fast, at least for the moment as it stands right now. Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting that Juventus have turned down Fenerbahce's €10 million offer for the player of Yildiz. The player actually learned yesterday that he will be a part of the squad for the American tour. So he'll be coming to USA, playing in front of the American fans. Maybe potentially myself if I'll be at the games. We will see. But more importantly, that doesn't really confirm that he will be playing with the first team overall once the season begins, but at least we'll give him an opportunity to see how he pans out through this little bit of portion of the July summer stretch. Could he still move out? Yeah, he absolutely could. So something to keep an eye on moving forward. Let's continue on and talk about another player who maybe we could have it going the opposite way, where instead of him going out or staying here, he might be going out. And that's actually when it comes to our own Leonardo Bonucci. Corriere Torino is reporting that Bonucci is no longer in Juventus's plan. He will be now ready to evaluate offers for him to go play elsewhere. The defender is interested in the contacts made by Newcastle. Juventus are prepared to let him walk on a free, even pay him part of the remaining wage. Now, this is what I get it. I understand. I talked about this just the other day. I understand the feelings, the difficult feelings when it comes to Leonardo Bonucci, his past. You don't need to run it back down for me. I get that. But there's a lot of history there when it comes to Leonardo Bonucci. He's been a part, just to be clear, a part of some very, very good duos, or triple team, if you will, with the BBC and everything that goes along with that. Understand when it comes to the player by himself, maybe he didn't match up to his counterparts in the system defensively. It's still difficult for me to see a guy who's been looked at overall outside of the missteps here and there. He's going to have a very historic time being here at Juventus. He's a historic Juventus player, one of the last ones that Juve has. I would rather just see him be able to, just kind of like, I get it. We're ready to move on. But I'd kind of rather be able to see him get his farewell, get his last season at Juve, go retire, do something else. I mean, we've seen him put out obviously just the J saying, there's no story before. There's a week or two ago about him not leaving, but at the same time, I don't know. And I get the harsh feelings when it comes to Bonucci. It's just, to me, I don't know. It'd just be weird to see another Italian player go to Newcastle, go see another player vacate the Serie A and go play for that's what I'm saying. It would be very different though, him going there than when it comes to Sandro Tonali, because Sandro Tonali is a up and coming player, while Bonucci is very, very much on his way out. He's limping to the finish line. Anyway, that's it. That's my soapbox. There's not a lot of you all need to, we need more Leonardo Bonucci because we don't need more Leonardo Bonucci, but I would at least like to see him just get his penance and then we can move out. Maybe penance isn't the word I was looking for. You know what I mean. All right, let's continue on. Let's actually get to the main stories of the day. The two big topics when it comes to Juventus, and that is when it comes to the Mercado. First off, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is a name that has been rumored with Juventus for a very long time. We know he's entering his final year of his contract with Lazio, and the big money idea that Lotito was having, well, it needs to be put to bed, and it appears that it's not. It appears that he's still trying to come back and trying to milk the teat of Juventus for anything that he can get and all of the things that he can get. And that's where we go with this story right here. Gianluca Di Marzio is reporting that Juventus had important contacts with Lazio before Rabiot's renewal. Now the focus is really on selling McKennie and Zakaria. We'll see what happens with those two players before we can really move on. I'll be honest, until we get concrete news about where Zakaria and McKennie are going. We talked about West Ham when it came to Zakaria. That's fine. I don't have a lot of interest in discussing those two players. The future of Milinkovic-Savic, though, will therefore depend on two aspects. If Lotito will lower the price, and if Juventus will generate cash. Juve need to make that money. Continuing on, though, we now have a report from Corriere dello Sport who's reporting that Juventus are planning to offer Pellegrini and Rovella plus cash for Milinkovic-Savic this coming Monday. I mean, how much do you need for a player in this? I get it. Here's the thing, and I understand. I've been on this channel in the past, the last few days, really saying, yeah, if you can get Milinkovic-Savic, you get it done and you go get him. You don't get it done by all means necessary. And this is one where, I don't know, maybe I'm going to sit differently on the fence than you will. Maybe than a lot of people. I don't know. I live in America. But when I see that they're planning to offer Pellegrini, Rovella, and money, and there have been sums that have been thrown out there, that'll be the next part of the story. Two players and money on top of it to get a player on his last year of his contract. That's insane to me. I mean, it's kind of insane to me, right? And the valuation's that low for them. And a player like Pellegrini, fine. Okay, get him going. That's fine. I think Pellegrini plus cash should be enough. But when you throw in a player like Nicolo Rovella, who, again, I've said this, I think I said it yesterday, so I don't need to go into a long spiel. But that one shocks me, and it really would surprise me if Juventus would be that flagrant with their willingness to just let Rovella go to get Milinkovic-Savic. Milinkovic-Savic, he's not old by any means, but he's not a spring chicken anymore. Very, very, very good player. A great player that Juventus could add and utilize. But to just give up like a Rovella, who's an up-and-coming player, I think has a lot of potential. That one hurts me. That one bothers me a little bit. I don't know. That's one that I would try to hold on a little bit if it's possible. We move on to the next part of that. And this is where Alfredo Padula put out his update where he said Juventus would sacrifice Rovella on loan with an option to buy for Milinkovic-Savic. They would also add Pellegrini and close to 20 million euros. 20 million. What are we valuating these players at? How much are we valuing these players? If you're going Rovella and you're also, going Pellegrini and 20 million on top of that. I mean, if that doesn't buy him, then Lotito's insane. And I understand maybe Lotito just wants money. If he just wants money, that's fine. I guess wait it out another year, tell him to bleep off. I don't know. But to have all three of those, if you get Pellegrini on loan, you get Rovella on loan, and there's options, I don't know. I got to understand how much they're valuing these players for and how much they would be selling these players for in the end. Pellegrini, again, not my worry. Rovella, that's where I'm interested in. And that's one where I think Juve could really be shooting themselves in the foot in the end. Final part of that, Nico Schietta this evening commented, or yesterday, I guess this morning, whatever. I don't know what time it is for you. Whatever. Juventus are still monitoring Sergei Milinkovic-Savic's situation. Juve has a draft agreement with the Serbian midfielder for the contract till 2027 at $5.5 million per year. Lazio are asking 30 to 40 million to sell him, and will try to convince SMS to extend the contract, which is not easy, which means he probably won't do it. I don't know. I think I've said enough in my spiel. It's your turn. Let me know how you feel about this. I don't know. I just think, to me, the Rovella one is kind of, I get it. I guess I'd be willing to sacrifice Rovella, but I feel like when you're already giving Sadi Pellegrini, I don't know. I just feel like you're giving up a lot to get Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. And I think Sergei Milinkovic-Savic is definitely a player worth getting. I just need to understand if it's worth it enough if you're throwing 20 mil on top of it. And the one thing, too, is also all these numbers are always very, very malleable, very, very flexible. It very well could be nothing close to this in the end. So we'll see. Something to keep an eye on. Finally, the last story in the news, the massive bombshell, if you will, that's come back. The name that really came hard. And if you remember before the 2020, the COVID season, if you will, you know the conversations that were going out there about Paulo Dybala being traded for this player. And now it looks like his name may be coming back in the news. And that is Sky Sport UK, as well as some other sources. I think Gazetta even said it. Some nonsense that was floated out there. Juventus talked with Chelsea over the potential signing of Lukaku. And I'm not saying that's nonsense, because it's not nonsense. I guess they are interested in the player, and they're interested in bringing Romelu Lukaku now to Juventus. Instead of, going back to Inter, staying with Inter, going to Juventus. Well, that would be something. That would be something. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Lukaku personally. Not a player that I personally. I think he's very good. I get it. When he's on, he is very good. And obviously, he's probably, I think his output overall definitely would have shown over that of Vlahovic, given Vlahovic's performance for Juventus last season. I'm not talking about overall performances, but when it came to Juventus, Vlahovic really, really struggled, or at least never got it going, in my personal opinion. Lukaku is an interesting piece. I would say no. I would say no personally, thanks, but no thanks. I'm good on sloppy seconds. Sloppy thirds, sloppy whatever it is at this point. I'm okay. But interesting piece nonetheless. The reason I come a little bit like half in, half out is because this thing popped up shortly after late this evening, yesterday evening. Nico Skidder reported that despite the latest rumors, Juventus have not submitted an official bid to Chelsea to sign Romelu Lukaku. Gentoli and Mana are currently working on other targets. So if you're worried and you're having, heart palpitations thinking that Romelu Lukaku is now going to be a Juventus player, I don't know, maybe some of you like that, you can put those worries to bed. For right now, he is not a priority, and he's not the top targets that Juventus are going after. So that should really do it. Hopefully that we can move on from that and move on to other options. We'll see. I guess let me know your thoughts when it comes to Vlahovic, his future with the club, and if you're wanting to sell him, if that's an option that you would go for as a replacement. Let me know that in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, do me a solid favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. I'm Justin Sofro. You can follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And of course, you can follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to your old lady for me.